Hello, and welcome back to Kim's Kozy Corner. This is week 3 in the seed starting series. So come with me and let's get started. For week 3, the first thing that we need to do is talk about how are we doing with weeks 1 and 2, because if there are issues with 1 and 2 seeds, now's the time to resow those seeds so we can make sure that we have our vegetables at the timing that we really would like them. So here's a brief update of week 1 and week 2. So these are the seeds I started in week 2. The onion are coming up very well. The dynamite lettuce is so-so. The iceberg lettuce hasn't germinated at all. So most likely those seeds are not viable. The herbs that I started, oregano and marjoram, our marjoram's doing really well. Oregano hasn't started yet, but I believe it needs a longer germination period. The broccoli is doing amazing, as is the cabbage and the cauliflower and the rhubarb. Look at the rhubarb. That's rhubarb right there. And all of the seeds I planted came up except for 3. So I'm about 50% germination, but I only wanted 2 plants. And so I have right now 5 viable plants. So they're looking really good. In the back, that's cauliflower, and the cauliflower is doing very well. The cumin is starting to come up. It's starting to break ground. Back there is very hard to see, but it's breaking ground. These are my leeks right here. They are doing very well. And that unknown onion that I had is doing nothing. That's the unknown onion. It's doing nothing whatsoever. Back here is also the unknown onion, and nothing has broken ground. This right here is a weed. It shouldn't be there. So let's get that out of there. It's really not a weed. It's really a seed from another packet. So this is 1 week growth on plants. For the seeds that I started in week 1, they're right here. And look at that. Those onions are doing absolutely wonderful. They're all germinating very well. So they've actually been in the ground or in the cells for 2 weeks. So these Grandex, I think I have 3 that germinated, and that's all. And so it's been 2 weeks. They should have germinated by now. I will be removing these from that cell and planting it with something else. This cell back here is another one of those. This is a 10-15, and not many germinated in that cell either. So I will consider redoing that cell. I don't want to waste the space for 10 plants when there should be closer to 50. Over to the lettuce area. So this is 2 weeks of growth on the lettuce, and it's still filling out and doing very well. So I will be transplanting that in a separate video where I am starting pots in my indoor tent. The herbs, so the sage and the rosemary, this is week 2, and you see they're just barely taking off. They need more time to germinate, so they are right on track of where they need to be. In the very back, that's celery. So at week 1 of growth, they were barely breaking the ground, and so now look at them. They're doing very well back there. I have this one plant here, which is actually from week 2. That's a leek. It just didn't fit up in the other tray. And here's another one of those unknown onion from week 2 that did not break ground. Most likely, we're going to get rid of those seeds now that I have them properly marked, so that we don't lose grow space and grow time on seeds that are not viable. I also want to turn around and show you 1 week's growth on the GreenStalk. The GreenStalk has now been going for a week, and I want you to be able to see how it's doing. So I set it up a week ago. I transplanted lettuce that was 1 week old into the GreenStalk. So this is the black seeded Simpson. Look how full that is now. That's the salad bowl. And I thought I was planting dark Rodin, and I picked up the wrong plug. This is actually the green salad bowl. So I was able to catch it early and get it labeled properly. Labeling, labeling, and labeling. More black seeded Simpson in both of these pockets. And it's been 2 weeks. In the next couple of weeks, we're eating lettuce. We're not going to the store. We're not buying lettuce. We're eating lettuce from our garden. And then here's some red salad bowl. The carrots have not broken ground yet, so I have carrots in every other pocket, but I didn't expect them to break ground yet. It's too early for them to break ground. I will continue to show you updates of how things are growing in my indoor grow tent. Now that you've seen the update, you see that we have a couple of issues, just a couple of issues. So let's start with the issue that we have with our onion. So our onion, remember we had a mystery onion. I had no idea what it was. I even put on the tag onion question mark, right? Not one, and I had four cells. Not one of those cells germinated at all. And it's been a week. It should have at least have been poking up just a little bit, even if it hadn't fully extended and come up out of the soil. So mystery onion seeds, that's a wrap. That's trash. They're gone. We have another issue. So our Grandex yellow. So this is week 2. So they've been growing for 2 weeks. So that I put them in the ground on week 1 of the series, and we're getting ready to do week 3. So they've been growing for 2 full weeks. I have 3 plants, three whole plants. Not going to go, not going to work. This one is a wash. We're giving up on this one as well. And the Grandex yellow, those Grandex yellow, I believe are my David seeds, which is not unusual. I have really struggled with my David's seeds. So these, they're a wash. They're going bye-bye. So we're going to reuse this tray. And there was one other area where I didn't see any growth yet, and that was with our iceberg lettuce. So as you saw in the video, all of my other lettuce is up. Usually lettuce easily comes up in a week. You know, you should see something in a week's time. And I got nothing whatsoever. And so these seeds are, right, there's the iceberg lettuce, and they were packed for 2021 season. So they're 2 years old. So maybe they've just lost all the viability. And so iceberg is a wash. These seeds going in the trash. So I'm not really concerned about lettuce because you saw the video, there's plenty of lettuce that's ready to transplant. We will be eating lettuce out of our indoor garden in the next couple of weeks. And there's another video of me transplanting and filling pots with some other vegetables. So not worried about lettuce at all. But for the onion, I'm concerned. even though the onion came up in the other cells, they're looking a little thin to me. So I have purchased additional onion seeds, and when they come in, we're going to plant a whole nother tray of onion because I want to make sure that I have plenty of onion viable to go in the ground in the next couple of months. So for today, as we think about what I am going to plant today, which again is not much, I'm going to plant another one of these onion seeds that, yeah, I got them off of Amazon from a random person. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm only going to reputable companies, like your Baker Creeks, your MI Gardeners, Harris Seeds. Those are some of the big ones, Gurney's, but no more of these random seeds off of Amazon. Some of them may be good, but you got a 50-50 chance on whether they're going to be good seeds or not. But I have another little pouch of early grano onions, teeny little pouch of something I purchased on Amazon, and it came in an envelope just like this versus a nice logo friendly package. So we're going to go ahead and plant this because if it's not any good, I want to be able to throw it out with the trash with the rest of them. So we will do one container of this onion. We will also do bok choy. I love bok choy. Oh my goodness. It's delicious. My family says, I'm not eating that. I don't know what that is. And then after I steamed it and put it on their plates, they ate it all up looking for more. So we are going to plant our bok choy to go in our GreenStalk in our indoor tent. If you don't know what a GreenStalk is, check out my video, All Things GreenStalk. So that's the bok choy. And then there are 3 tomatoes that we're going to do. And these tomatoes, and it's really early, I'm going to be honest with you, it's really, really early to be doing tomatoes. But the tomatoes that I'm going to do are micro dwarf tomatoes or dwarf tomatoes. They only get about a foot tall. And I believe that I can start those in my GreenStalk and have tomatoes on them even before the season starts. I did it last year. I got 2 plants and it worked. We were eating tomatoes before June in the GreenStalk. So we're going to do that again with just a couple of tomatoes, and I'll share with you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the Tiny Tim from MI Gardener. These next 2 seeds, again, got them off of Amazon, and I don't know if they're viable or not, just to be honest with you. I struggled to get them to grow last year. And then I had a labeling issue. Label. So I'm not sure which one did and did not grow. So we're going to plant these again and figure out if we can get anything out of them. So we're going to grow this Santa Claus. And from Harley Seeds, we're going to grow this Red Robin. Again, these are all, now this Harley Seeds says germination is at 95%. Wish me luck. But we're going to start these 3 and hopefully we can get something going so we can add it to our GreenStalk. And the only other thing that I had was I was going to do another lettuce since I lost all of my iceberg lettuce. So I was thinking about doing this prize head leaf lettuce. But now I think I'm going to reconsider because I already have 2 different types of romaine. I have a ton of leaf lettuce. I think I'm going to hold off. Remember, you want to stagger your planting so it's not all coming in at one time. So we will hold off on this. We won't plant this one. That's it, because we're staggering our planting. So I just planted cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower last week. So I want to wait at least 2 weeks before I start more seeds. So for our seeds today, let's get started. If you're just joining me, I live in Southwest Ohio, Zone 6A, and my last frost date is like the end of April, early May. So you really can't plant any of your warm weather crops at this time. The only crops we should be planting from a seed right now are what we call cool weather crops, crops that can take a light frost. And so those are the seeds that we're starting. Unless it's something that I'm planning on putting in my GreenStalk, because it'll be protected indoors anyway, because it's in my indoor garden and my indoor grow tent. So just wanted to give you a heads up on what we're planning and why we're planning it now. All right, we are all set up. So I start my seeds in a Jiffy mix. It's an organic, all natural Jiffy mix that you can get at any of your local stores. I like to sterilize my soil, my starting mix before I use it. So I put it in boiling water, and I let it sit until it cools off. And then I have this wonderful, nice, moist mixture here. I sterilize it so I can get rid of fungus gnats and other type of eggs and insect eggs that may be lying dormant in the soil. So that's why I do that step. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start with the bok choy. As I think about how many cells the bok choy, I am going to put this in bok choy. I'm going to put it in my GreenStalk. And so I will take each one of these little plants once it hits, gets big enough in the cell, gets past its first true leaves, then I'll move it over to the GreenStalk. So I have 6 pockets. I got 6 cells. So I put this all in, I just press it down, and then I come behind it with another layer. I keep saying soil, but this is a seed starting mix for the bok choy. These are our onion that are no good whatsoever. Let's get that out of there. Let's reuse that. We don't want to lose that mix. So we're going to do 1 cell, a big cell though. To see if we can get these onion to grow. If not, guess what? They're going in the trash. So there the onion. And I feel pretty confident with my MI Gardner seeds. I tell you what, I have nothing but respect for what MI Gardner's doing with their seeds and everything. And so I really like to support him and his company. So there's the tray for the Tiny Tims. And now our other 2 that wish me luck. I don't feel very confident about the other 2 types of tomatoes, just to be honest. So let's just do 2 cells of each. You put the soil in, you push it down, come back one more time, and there you go. And we're going to do 2 cells of each. So I have all of my cells filled up. So now it's time to get the seeds in. So let's start with the bok choy. Now my starting mix is already very moist. Bok choy says that 1, it's a cool weather crop, which we knew. We're going to place the seed 1/4 of an inch deep. And I didn't bring my tool. I'll be right back. All right, 1/4 of an inch. So I have my handy dandy tool here that I got from Amazon. I honestly don't remember from what company, but it tells me, how deep I'm planting. So for the bok choy, I have 6 cells. And I'm going to put 2 in each cell just in case it doesn't germinate. Two per cell. 1, 2, maybe 3. One thing that I always talk about is that I have very shaky hands and these seeds are tiny. So I do my best. Oops, that was 2. And get the right number in each pocket. If I have too many, that's okay. Even if it's too many, it's okay because I can separate them later. A lot of people just cut the second seed out so that they only have 1 seed per tray. But I just feel like I should be using every plant that comes up. And so I usually separate the plants and up pot them into additional cells so that I don't lose any seeds. And then, I got like 500 plants, right? All right. So now we're just going to pat them down lightly, doing a lot of talking and not a lot of planning. The next thing you got to do is label, and don't forget to label. So there's the bok choy. Next, we're going to do the Tiny Tims. Tiny Tims, days to maturity is 45 to 65 days. Tiny Tims, what does it say here? They grow from 10 to 12 inches tall and 14 inches across. So it spreads a little bit horizontally, but it doesn't get that tall vertically. Oh my goodness, teeny little seeds. Oh, that one disappeared. Oh well, teeny little seeds. Usually my tomato seeds do really, really well. So again, we're going to put 2 per cell. If they all germinate, I could cut the second one out and keep the stronger one of the 2, or I can transplant the other one and keep all that germinate. All right, I'm doing pretty good. I'm keeping 2 per cell. Look at that. I have 1 cell to go. Even if you plant too deep, a lot of times they'll come up anyway, so don't worry if it's not exactly right. Tomato plants are very, very hardy. I have a little cheat sheet right here on the front of my little bin here that tells me that tomatoes are 1/4 inch deep, peppers are 1/4 inch, broccoli 1/2 inch, cucumbers 1/2 inch, beans 1 to 1.5 inches, and squash 1 inch. I don't even know if that's right or not, but this bin was gifted to me, and so far tomatoes seem to be accurate. So these are Tiny Tims. Label, and label. So yeah, look, see, this is how the seeds came to me. They came to me in this generic piece of paper with a little pouch here, but I just don't remember if they grew for me or not last year. So we're going to plant 2 cells of the Santa Claus. Oh, these seeds are even smaller. 1/4 inch. So it's still 2 per cell. So it gives me 4 chances for the Santa Claus to grow. I'm going to tell you about the Santa Claus in just a minute here. I'm going to read the packaging to see what the packaging says. The Santa Claus reaches heights of 10 inches and does not require staking. That's what it says. So this is even smaller than the Tiny Tim. This would be perfect in my GreenStalk. And I mean, maybe this is the one that came up last year. I honestly don't know. And if it is, great. We're going to plant it again. If it doesn't come up at all, then I'm going to assume it's the one that did horrible. And it's going bye-bye. All right. The last tomato seed that we have is called Red Robin. That didn't want to open as I pour all of the seeds out. All right. 2 plants. I already have 1 seed that fell in my lap. All right, 2 plants per cell. So there's 2 for that cell, 2 for that cell. and the onion. And again, I have no idea where it came from. Don't remember, but they said they sent me 200 seeds. Doesn't quite look like 200 to me. At least I know what they are. I want to make sure they get a good fighting chance. I like to give them a good mix like a salad. And a little pat down, very light pat though, very light. And that one's done. Those are all of the seeds for this week that I need to start. I'm going to move these over into the tent. That's all we need to plant for week 3, because we want to stagger our planting so that our vegetables come in over a longer period of time. We don't want it all coming in at one time. So week 3 is a very light week for starting seeds, but we were able to learn some things because there are seeds that had not germinated, which means that they're not viable, and we needed to replace those and put new plants out there. And we need to update our log on those seeds and make sure we move those seeds out and get those out of our current viable seed inventory, because we don't want to go through this again. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Week 4, we absolutely will be planting a larger variety of things in week 4, and you'll have an even better update for the first 3 weeks. Thank you so much for being with me today. Enjoy growing. Goodbye.